So recently I discovered Nick Jashoshin, which I think is the name to say it. It's a sort of Polish-looking name. And he has just a crazy, fancy 3D environment that he does all this stuff. I'll just quickly... I can act out the title as a dance. And his rig basically looks like this. So I saw this on Office Hours Global, which is this sort of daily Zoom call where everyone sort of they talk about their rigs, and they talk about they're from sort of broadcast backgrounds and things. So I've been getting a lot of nerdy information from this stuff. But I saw this and I thought, come on now, this is mad. And then I thought, actually, I think we can do this. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I'm going to show you how to get something a bit like this for free on your Mac. It's Mac only, of course, but yeah. So let's get started. Right, what we're going to use today? We are going to use Vuo, which is a open source, like node-based editing environment. So it's like a coding environment, but you can plug video and audio and 3D and do different things. And I will show you how that works. We're going to be using Shoot, which is my app, but this is optional. But I will be using it because we can do something a little bit nifty to save ourselves some pain. And then finally, we're going to be using this Siphon virtual webcam, which all that does is, so Siphon is a Mac thing that lets you create a virtual webcam, which is what Zoom is going to use to be able to get a webcam. So let me find my notes, because now that I'm seeing that there are people chatting, I am feeling more nervous than I might have been. And of course, if there are any issues with the stream, please let me know, because I'm trying to do this nicely so that I can just upload it to YouTube. But we can call these little, if it's a bit slacker than a really nicely produced video, that's okay. I can judge if people are really interested in doing this, and then, you know, we'll do a nicer version in future. But for now, this is pretty cool. So let's let's break down what we've got anyway. So here's what Nick's thing looks like. And let's have a look into that. So what is it? How's this actually made? We've got foreground elements. So basically two-dimensional semi-transparent planes, and that's just a screen capture, isn't it? Like, that's just a screen grab there. And he's just like feeding that through to a 3D layer. Then we've got this sort of chroma keyed Nick. So obviously he's got a green screen behind him, I think, unless this is all real, but it doesn't seem real to me. And I think this is a 3D environment as well, because he's sort of like cropping out things. And the way I'm picturing, yeah, definitely Minority Report style thing, isn't it? But what I really like about this is it's actually sort of quite practical, that you can see the reactions of people that he's talking to. And so it's not like Minority Report is you know, the reason Minority Report is silly is because you just get tired arms doing that all the time. Like you want to just be like subtly moving something. You don't want to be like. So Minority Report, usually stuff that looks good on film, is completely unusable in real life. We discovered this when I worked at Ubuntu. I was in the design team of an operating system. We had like free reign to do whatever we wanted. We pulled in all the Minority Report stuff. We pulled in all the Iron Man stuff. We pulled in all the stuff from all the different films, and we looked at it. It was like, how can we make the operating system feel like this? And we soon realized, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you need tactile, you need it to be like subtle movements, or everyone's getting RSA. But I think this is one case where the it does actually add something. So that's why I was sort of interested in doing this. So let's just get started with this. By switching to right. So here I am. This is Vuo. So this is what a new project will look like in Vuo. So if you just go File, New Composition, Vuo, and you can get Vuo by just going to vuo.org. I'll just show you that. So vuo.org. This is a tool that let's see. This, they've got a nice what is about us. Well, no, get Vuo. Where's what is Vuo? There. Look, it's an application that helps people develop interactive experiences, live performances, digital media, and more. And obviously, you could use all sorts of different tools to do this, but this is This is actually a free tool, and I like it. I think it's pretty. You can get a pro version, which gives you a few more things, but actually I don't tend to find myself needing a lot of those. So we'll be using the free version of Vuo, as indicated by this sort of yellow indicator, Vuo Community Edition. So this is what you get to start with. And so the first thing we want is some live video. So we can say receive live video. And then let's just make that so we can see it, image to window. We can render image to window. And then we can just connect our live video, render image to window, and select, I'm going to select my Blackmagic input, which is how I'm connected. And then I can just hit play. And here it is. So that is this is coming through Vuo. It's probably adding a little bit of a delay to it, but that's something we can cover. That's something we can cover. But for now, that's what this is. And maybe, I don't know if I can sort of make this a bit smaller, and so that we can see it as we go. It's going to be a little bit confusing, isn't it? So this is the preview window here. And yeah, can I make this window stay on top? First thing that I should have found out. Well, I'll just bring that in. And so here's our Vuo composition. So I could switch to a different camera, like one that's covered up. So, and it recompiles. Well, you see it's not getting any frames. But if we select back to one that is getting frames, you can actually preview what's happening down here as well. So at every stage, we can kind of see what's going on. So step 1 is get the video in. Step 2, step 2 is we want to screen capture. Now this is, I think with this, we're going to see this is a screen capture, but like I'm not going to be running Zoom today, so I think what I'll do is just kind of get an image of a Zoom call, and we'll use that, because there's some awkwardness around how you capture some screen. But to start with, why don't we just bring in screen capture? Right, capture image of screen, and just see what that's going to look like. So we can just drag that there instead, and now it's going to be now something you've got to know here is something like capture screen. Okay, sorry, I wasn't showing it. So I said capture image of screen. So I can actually plug that into the image output, but you see nothing's happening. And if we click on there, we see no events. So what we have to do is tell it to keep capturing the screen. And we do that by using a fire periodically node. So this we can set, right, so what's, we're going to say 30 frames a second is 0.03, which we can just find out by going 1 over 30 is 0.03333. If you wanted 60 frames a second, it's 0.00167. So that's how you know that. So if we just go, and there's two kinds of connections in Vuo that you should know about. One is an event connection. So you see that's a thick line. If we hold shift, we get a thin line. Or if we just drag it to like the body of the next node. If I dragged it in here, it would think I wanted the number. But actually, I just want it to fire an event, and I just want it to take a screenshot, 30 times a second. So that should be happening. Maybe we can just restart it. If in doubt, just restart the thing. And also, we need Vuo will ask for permission to be able to capture the screen. Now let's just see. This is firing 30 times a second. Oh, and you have to, and let's say screen with active window, and that should give us, look, you see we're capturing the screen now. So as I move the mouse around, you can see it moving around in there. And so what we'd want to do like this actually doesn't let you set which window, and I've been looking for a way to select the window, but what I would suggest is you either your full screen, in which case you can just like, probably if you're on a Zoom call you're going to use the full screen, so you probably just kind of take the full screen, and this is 640 by 480, but what maybe I'll do is I will capture my my Ecamm window, maybe. I don't know. This might be it. I don't think Ecamm will let us. Maybe it will. So if I just make this like start at 1280, or I don't know, 1920. 1920. No. Maybe we can give ourselves a slider. I'm just going to say 0, we're going to capture Vuo's window. So we're just going to capture the composition window into there for now. But we would obviously prefer to capture a zoom window. But for now, we'll just do this. We'll move on to the next thing, which is how do we turn that into a, how do we composite that? So we do something called combine layers. So if I go combine layers and I drag that, I can make my screen capture image in front, and I can make my video image behind. And sometimes it's going to want to sort of, let's say combine image instead. Combine image. No, I want to combine layers. Or is it merge images? Blend images. There we go. Let's do blend images. Oh, that's just 2 images. Layers. I think it's layers that I want. Render layers to window. Maybe, no, we want images. Come on now. I want, I should probably grab my test so that I'm not so that I can remember what I did. Blend images, that's not the one. Oh, this is do you know what, I've just killed what I'd done. Okay. Oh, cancel, there it is. I found it. Right, this is that. I just want to find the one that I did before. Open recent. Hold on a sec. Right, I do apologize for any stops and starts, but I'm thinking about quite a lot of things here, and not entirely, you know, it's kind of a first run of this thing, so there's going to be a bit of a beta to it, but what I will always be doing is putting the time codes. So if you see me like fumbling a little bit, you can just like click on the next time code on YouTube and skip this bit. But I'm just trying to find my Vuo composition, and on this Mac, just to try and find the ones that I did. It's just like I loaded a load this morning trying to do something else. So just let me show in and closing folder. We did virtual studios and we did test virtual thing. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't showing up in recent. Right, so now I've just got my reference. Yeah, okay. Well, look, we've just got to, we merge layers. Combine layers. I don't know why that's got to be transformed, but look, we go receive, and we may have to do frame to layer to image, maybe? Convert frame to image. Like, it did it for me when it was able to tell, but here we can just go, this will automatically do this. So this is our video, so we'll put that on 2, and we'll no, let's connect that to 1, and render this to the window, layers to image, Render layers to image. So you see these things can get a little bit... Oh, right, that's what we want. Render layers to image. I don't know what I was doing there. Right, render layers to image. We'll just take that and we'll take our screen capture. And now, like, one is on top of the other. But what we can do is plane. Let's say make a 3D square. So we want to make a 3D square, which is our... we want to overlay that in the foreground in front of us. So we'll go make 3D square. We will, for the material, we'll take the captured image. Okay, we'll get rid of that connection. And we will render scene images to window. Yeah, we'll render that scene. Render scene to image. We'll bring in our scene object. Okay. And then that gives us an image that we can add as a layer. And you should now see, what's this? It's a thing and it's floating in space. Let's sort of simplify the frame of that by making it capture a square image so that we know we've got the thing, the right dimensions. And then what do we need to do? We can just change the transform. I'm going to make this even smaller. We can actually zoom out of this a little bit, but this might be too small to tell what's going on. For Twitch, look, we're making a 3D square. That's getting rendered. And then we can just go transform and move it around. X, we can rotate it on the y-axis. Look, you can't see the back of it, but look, we can move that around really easily. And just move it down on the y-axis. And look, we've got a composition already. Let's make this 1280 by 720. I don't know if you may not know this, but Zoom, you have to ask permission to even get 780p for your webcam. So 720p for your webcam. Otherwise, you get like 380 or something. But it's hard to get 1080p for Zoom. So 720 is fine. So we've got our 720p image, and look, we've got this thing that we were able to just sort of put into the position we wanted. If I just move this across so that I can bring it up to the edge, we can just take this across to the edge, maybe rotate it a bit less. Oops. Now these controls can be a bit fiddly, but we can... So look, we've got... Well, in fact, what he's got is the whole side of the screen, but let's come up here. But we it's not translucent. So how do we get translucent? So make... is it create? Let me just remind myself. Oh, what we did here actually was make 3D object from image. So you can actually make a 3D object from an image. Unlit 3D object from image is actually going to probably be easier than this. So let's get rid of that. Let's have this instead and put our captured image this way. Let's rotate it again. Let's move the center of it. Yeah, no. So you can actually tab through these and sort of adjust it. And then we can get back to the Y. So here we go. But this now gives us an opacity control. So look, we can make it opaque. And then the only thing that's left here, now maybe that's a bit not quite enough opacity. But you see, and this will look different with a sort of darker image. And I wonder if we can have View in like dark mode so that it feels a bit more video-ish. Preferences. I can't see how to do that, but look. So we've got our unlit. Oh, you can't really see that very well. So if I just pull this down a bit so that it's not behind me, well, let's keep it here. So you can see this this little cool kind of thing, and I can be like, look, I'm using my minority report effect. And all we did, like, it may have looked like a lot, but like if I just want to do that again so that we can see how quickly it can be done. So, or I'll just show you. Look, we're capturing an image 30 times a second. That's all that does. We make a 3D, like this is an unlit 3D object from an image. We render the scene to an image, and then we, we render everything like this. So here's the pipeline. We go. How do I hide? There's a hide this library thing. I'm gonna view. How do we node library? It is, yeah, Command Enter. View node library. I don't know. You can get rid of that. Look. To make the front bit, we went capture an image of the screen 30 times a second, make an unlit object, and then add that object to a scene and render it to an image, and then render that and then put that into a window. To convert, and then to take the live video feed, we literally just went receive live video, selected the right one, convert frame to image, and this is our compositing. So I mean, it takes a little while to explain, but there's really very little to it. And look, we've already got something that is cooler than 90% of Zoom chats. But how do we what do we do next? We kind of want stuff behind us. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to need a green screen. But if you don't feel like you don't want to deal with this, and I tell you what, I hate dealing with this stuff because it's never flat. You could render a GIF. Hey, guess what? Why can no one on Twitch have a legible username? If it was purely just for the look rather than needing it to be live, yeah, you can drag an image. Like, here are all of the things that you... here are all of the things that you can use. You can put text in. You can do all this maths. You can do all these images. All this Craig. Hi. You can do all this multimedia stuff, right? It's not. You can do audio. You can do all sorts in this. So yeah, if you just had, do you know what, GIFs, like specifically GIFs, certainly a video, you can drag a video in. That's just fine. A GIF file, if we're talking about GIFs. Let me see. Have I got a GIF on my computer anyway? This is dangerous. Let me just see if I've got any GIF files in my world, just so we can test. What's this? Show in Finder. I'm just going to see if I can find a GIF image on my computer and see if I can drag it in. What's this? Nope. No. Operator. Okay, I found a really... there's got to be some better... Sorry, I'm just looking through my computer for a good GIF. I'm finding GIFs from before, like non-animated GIFs. Okay, look. Here is a crazy GIF file. See, I'm saying it both, hedging my bets. It's only old people that call... Right, if we just drag that in, you can have a fetch image, you can have a play movie, you can decode movie image. Let's just do play movie, decoded video. Let's like add that. We can create another layer here and just take the decoded video. We might need to make that into an image first. Frame to image. Just see if we, yeah, that gives us a frame, and then we can see, look, oh, and sometimes if you want to load something, you do have to do a fire on start. So sometimes something won't get created until it gets a little event. So in this case, we just sort of stop and play again to load that GIF, and I will. Oh, do you know what we could do if we put this on this side and put View-O on this side? That I think that works a bit better. Because it sort of gives us me in that window. This should now look. We can check whether the frames are coming in. You can see that the frames are coming in there, and we can add that as a layer to our composition. And now, right, that's there. But if we wanted to like transform that, transform layer. Oh well, in fact, like let's just chuck that. Let's, instead of putting that there, let's just put that into our nice. Sorry. Let's just. I think sometimes View-O can be a little bit fussy, but yeah, I think you just wanted to see this, didn't you? So if we just grab. So instead of the video, we can just do that, and now we should have. There we go. Look, ooh, I'm doing some stuff. It's semi-transparent. There you go. So you can really sort of stick anything in there, and like if you wanted to do some weird stuff like this, you could easily add some sort of movies and things in the background, and you know, sort of set up the environment that you want. Really, I think this one would look nicer with a bit more opacity. So yeah, like we can do this, and so it can be a live screen capture, it can be an image, it can be a video, it can be whatever you want really. But let's go back to the screen capture, and we can see me talking away. So what do we want to do now? We want the background, so we need a green screen. We don't want to use this crazy green screen, but what my app Shoot Clean Camera Feed has is an experimental feature called virtual green screen, which you have to enable in the menu. And I would show you how to do that, but I'm connected over HDMI, so it doesn't show you the menus. But we might be able to take in the feed from my phone. No, it's not doing it. But all I'll do is activate it. So this gives us it's not great, it's not perfect, but this is using the depth camera in the iPhone to give us a green screen. So that's fun, isn't it? So like I didn't have to set up a green key screen, but I can get a Chroma Key. Certainly for testing, it's really useful if I don't want to kind of start mucking around back there. And we've got some controls. I need to make it so that it doesn't so that it recognizes stuff that's in the foreground, so it doesn't lose my hand when my hand comes close. But it's an experimental feature of Shoot, and it's quite nice that I've got this and I can show you this. So clean.camera, you can get this app that I made, and is the reason I get to make tutorials like this in my life. But yeah, so this is a decent key, and I'm just going to come back to the normal camera for a bit because that is a bit distracting. If you search for like a keyer in View-O, you're not going to find one. They haven't got one. There's been requests, but all is not lost. What I did, I said, toy Chroma Key, and well, I actually searched like how to get a Chroma Key, and there's a really amazing node in. There is a really spectacularly. Sorry, there's a brilliant node in ShaderToy in View-O called ShaderToy. ShaderToy is this website where you can like write little. This is called a shader, and you don't really need to understand what this is doing, but it's just a very high performance way of processing graphics. So what is wonderful about View-O is that you can figure out a shader in ShaderToy, or you can search for weird shaders and you can find them, and you can just bring them into View-O as a node and use them. So what this is, we've got a green screen of Jean-Claude Van Damme there with a sword, That's right, isn't it? Being composited over this using the power of shaders. Now I hope my computer is doing a lot right now, by the way. So if we're losing frames, I need to save up for an M1 MacBook Pro, which means like and subscribe, buy my app, and hopefully I can get one within the next 2 years. Look, we can just take this shader. I'm selecting it all. I'm copying it. I'm actually going to close it because it's probably using a little bit of Chrome power. We can go make shader node, ShaderToy. You just search for ShaderToy in there, make image with ShaderToy. And so instead of, and then we can just double click on there and we can paste in our shader. All right, Craig. Yes, I'll see you on YouTube. Thanks for joining. It's been thanks for asking questions as well. It's really useful to be able to kind of break out and say what's going on. Look, you may not be seeing like which set are we on? We're on desktop. Yeah, you may not be seeing 30 frames a second on here, but trust me, it looks good. Like from where I'm standing. Right, we can put that shader in, and then in ShaderToy, we knew that channel 0 was the foreground image. So what I'm going to do is put channel 0, this image, here. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Craig. Sorry, I'm responding to something and not putting it up on the screen, but I just, look, there you go. Add to broadcast. There you go. Craig is saying, enjoy the rest of the session. Right. Captured image. Instead of putting it straight into the 3D object, we can put it via this shader. In fact, oh no, this is the wrong one. Sorry. It's the live video that we want to composite. So we've got live video, that turns into an image. But we don't have to send the image straight through. We can send the image via this shader and then see what happens. Right. First thing that happens is, oh, we didn't load the shader. So again, that's something, I'm actually going to make a fire periodically that fires every 1 second so that we can see it will keep loading it every second, but it won't be reloading the shader onto the GPU 60 times a second. So this lets us edit it a little bit, but usually you just figure this out and then you'd be done. So if we go back to our green screen, we need to tell the shader a couple of things. Now the first thing is what color needs to be removed. And the color to be removed is literally, because this is done digitally, it's literally, so this is RGB. So 0, red is 0, green is 1, and blue is 0. Right? So we've changed that Chroma Key color to RGB, no red, all green, no red. And that gives us a green key. Okay, and now when that reloads, we should, well, that should be ready. But what the other thing we want to do is, this took 2 images and it composited it, but we don't want to take 2 images. So we're here, so this is that I channel 0, this is the texture thing. So instead of taking the texture from the other channel, all we're going to do is go vec for 0.0, 0.0, 0.0, 0.0. So that's going to now make a transparent, it's going to be transparent where there's nothing. So now we should see, look, transparent. And how can we prove that we're transparent? Why don't we put that nice GIF behind us that we had before? Come on, this can be like, I don't know why it's doing that. This can be a bit fussy. We've got tons of layers now. Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit fussy. So let's just put that there and put this here, and let's bring in our nice animated GIF and put that behind me so that I can prove that. Oh, sorry, we need the frame. Frame to image. So sometimes it will make you do this, sometimes it won't. You see, sometimes it will. Let's just put that in there, and now we should get there we go. So look, I'm over a background, but we do have a bit of green spill here, and but that's something we can deal with as well. And you can actually see in this shader Chroma Key algorithm, like you can read this and it tells you exactly what it is. This is the color to be removed, and then range is used to decide the amount of color, color to be used from the foreground or background. But basically, we don't want any of that green in there, and so we have this mask range variable here. I would like to be able to drag this, and maybe I can double click it. Right, I would like to be able to drag this. So, well, yeah, let's move this over here. No, we can't move that over there. I want to be able to see this while I do this. You can see a little bit of green on. Let's just move it down. This is much easier on a bigger window, but what can you do? I'm trying to stream. Right, so we have this mask range, and I don't know why they've done it this way, but we can make a vec2 just like 0.0. And if we do the mask range 0, then that's going to be nothing. But I think I found like 0.2, 0.2. You can try different values. 0.2. Okay, that's still got a bit of green, but maybe a bit less. And if we go like 0.3, I think this looks. Maybe we can even go 0.4. But we're just trying to get a bit of that, rid of that bleed, really. So 0.3. Let's just try 0.4. See what we get. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit glitchy, but so is the key, to be honest. But I think this would. Oh look, but my eyes look a bit funny, don't they? Because I guess they're reflecting some green. Maybe let's go a little bit less extreme than that. So let's say like 0.35. See how that feels. Like I don't hate that. Like so that here we are in space with our Chroma Key thing, having a good time. And we just use, it's still all, this is all free software, so like you don't even have to worry about, you know, you're not even paying any money for this. The next step then is we just have to put something in the background. So we can kind of do the same as we did before. So we could take, like, we could copy this, like capture image, make 3D object, like make this fire this as well, take another one and maybe see where we've got top left. So you've got the screen coordinate, top left, width, height. What if I grab something that's down in the bottom right of my screen and make the top left, I don't know what my screen resolution is, but if we go 1000, let's see what that is. We can click on there at any time. Okay, that's a bit of OBS going on. What if we went 2000? What would we get? We get, okay, yeah, we got that. This is the View-O window. So that, you know, that's kind of cool, isn't it? So let's put that View-O tutorial behind us. And there's a bit of Twitch down there as well. So we've got that. And what I'm going to do is, well, we could just add that into our scene, right? And now we've got, I think we need to restart this because our GIF background seems to get upset when it's stopped and started. But if we just come back, we should now be able to take this other image and just move this somewhere else. Maybe, there it is. So we can set on the Z axis, maybe put it somewhere. But you'll see it's like it's appearing on top of me. So I'm actually going to do another render scene to image and put that as its own layer and put this object in there instead. Okay, so now we should see, well, once it figures its life out, we should get that image behind us. Because the order of these is basically, so what's this? This is me, this is something behind, this is something in front. If in doubt, stop and start again. And there we go, look, we've got that sort of tutorial page is showing up behind me. Oh, the other thing, by the way, just we can just something I forgot to do before. This image of the screen, we actually want it to be flipped. So if we go, if we search for mirror horizontally, we can just literally mirror that image, because it's we kind of want it to be the other way around for the effect. And so you see now that should be yeah. So mirror. I don't want to mirror the image. That's made two of me. But that's quite cool as well. I think maybe we actually want transform image. Transform. Wait. Layer. Image. Flip image. Flip image horizontally is what I wanted, not mirror image. So let's do that. Flip image horizontally. Captured image. So now this should be. Yeah, like, so I'm sort of talking to myself now, but that's kind of cool. Hey, we're Minority Reporting. So, and now we've got this thing behind us, which we can sort of maybe have that sort of up there, and that could be like another moving window, and we're in our environment, we're talking, we got that stuff, but it's not blurred. Now it seems that Vuo doesn't have a depth of field camera. So usually I would create this whole thing. I'd put myself in as a layer in the 3D scene, and stuff behind me would be on the Z-axis further back, and stuff in front of me would be on the Z-axis further forward. But in this case, Vuo doesn't let you sort of like blur or kind of create a virtual camera, but we can just fake it. So we'll just take our background image and we'll just go like blur image, and take our, this is the background, isn't it? This is that. And just chuck that into there and chuck it through this blur image, and now it might take a sec, but yeah, now we've got the ability to blur this image a little bit. So you just drag that, say yeah, that looks alright, and now I've got something behind me. And really you can just like add in, you can build up that scene. So we could you know, like, why don't, let's just, I'm sort of I quite like this 3D thing we had, so let's just take this movie again, like add it to the scene. We can go make unlit 3D object, make unlit 3D object from image, we can drag that down, we can say frame image, stick that into our background scene, and just think about where we want that to be in the space. So maybe have that over to sort of the left, maybe sort of move it a bit further back, maybe sort of have it a bit up, maybe X. So you see we've got like this, and in fact we can sort of, because it's not a real Z-axis, we could probably just like, we can sort of pretend everything's at the same Y distance. But see, so we're sort of like building this kind of crazy virtual world, and it's fun. And just one final, you know, we can actually load 3D models into this as well. 3D object. I think we can just drag a DAE file in. So I'm just going to find, I know on my hard disk I've got a mushroom. I've got a cool mushroom somewhere. Okay, I can just drag in Finder, I can just drag a 3D model in. We need to make sure we load it. So we'll just grab, let's just take our, well, let's get rid of that, because that's going to be causing problems. But let's take our fire on start, we'll just load in that model. So we stop and start again. Okay, so now we should see, if we debug, we should be able to see that we've got a 3D model. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we can see there's something there. We can add that to our scene. Just make another slot. Right, and just drag that in, I think. And we should get like a mushroom. Let's see. It's going to spin a little bit, I guess. I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. Let me just remind myself what I did. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of a transform 3D object on this actually, so that we can say where it's going to be. So if we go transform 3D object, we can take the object and we can place it. Before it gets to the scene, we can just transform it, and then that gives us these controls. And when we double click here, and this lets us figure out where it is, try and find it. Where could it be? There. Let me see where it was on this one. Our 3D object is minus 0.84, 0.44. So this was minus 0.84, 0.44. We should be able to see this model. Render scene to image. We've got vertices. What have we got here? No object. Oh, so maybe we need to make the transform. Okay, let's just take fire periodically so that we can sort of repeatedly transform it as we move those sliders. So this should let us see the results of our transformations more easily. 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Where is this thing? Transformed object, no object. 0 vertices, 0 elements. 1 child object. Maybe we have to. Oh my god, this could be messy. Let's just keep loading it. I just want to show you this mushroom. Like, it should just be. Oh, look, I can see it. I can see it. It's behind me. Look, mushroom. So there's the mushroom. And we can just move that forward and backwards. Maybe we'll, maybe this would be easier to see if we got rid of our crazy, and got rid of this crazy thing. And move this, forwards. What did I just unconnect? Look, anyway, there's a 3D. Damn. Sorry, let me see. What's this? This is our crazy thing. So let's just disconnect and just like start it up again. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just so keen on making this 3D mushroom for you. Okay. So now what? We've got our mushroom. We can just move that across to behind us a little bit, and if we want, we can even like. Oops. No. You can sort of like rotate. We could spin the mushroom round. That's fun, isn't it? And you can control all the lights and all that kind of stuff, and we can go into more detail on that. But I think that gives you a lot of information about how to construct your scene. But how do we get that into Zoom? It's all very well, but it's just a window. I mean, you could window capture, but that's no good, is it? So I'm going to show you what you can do now. So what we're going to do, instead of rendering image to window, which is that's now going to disappear. No more window. No more render image to window. So how do we get this out? We use something called Siphon, which is a Mac protocol which lets you send video between applications. And the other thing we're going to need is something called Siphon Virtual Webcam, which I mentioned at the start. And this lets you select a Siphon server. So here, now, we have a virtual webcam. And what's good about that virtual webcam? Now when we load Zoom, which I'm loading now, for better or worse, I will go into Zoom preferences, if it lets me. Zoom preferences, go into video. Look, we can select a different camera. So we can have my camera, or we can have it actually. So why does it shows up as OBS virtual camera? Because I think it's just leaning on OBS's functionality. But look, all you have to do is you install it. You download and install this. What's it called? Siphon virtual camera. Just search for Siphon virtual camera, and this gives you. This is a free app. Where is it? Oh, we're searching videos, aren't we? Or give me all. Siphon virtual camera. Come into here. It's a free download, and when you install it, it will ask. It will want you to install the OBS virtual camera. So it's just like leaning on that OBS virtual camera thing, really. But then once that's running and you've selected your scene from Vuo, you see that's Vuo composition loader. Right? Now that's what people are going to see on your Zoom. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with the ability to wow the world with our amazing video calls. Now, there will be probably a slight frame delay introduced by all this, which you'll probably. I'm just going to come back to a normal view of myself. Okay, and just get rid of this fake green screen so that we can feel a bit more comfortable again. There will be a little bit of a frame delay on that, but you can use the delay calculator. So go to squares.tv to find that. So if we look at squares.tv, and I'm just going to so squares.tv has a delay calculator which you can use for OBS or Ecamm. If we use Ecamm, so even if you're using Ecamm, you still use the OBS virtual camera just because it's a free thing. So that might be a bit confusing, but this gives you a tutorial on how to figure out the precise frame delay so that you can send your audio a different way and make sure that it's like perfectly in sync with your camera, because that might look a bit weird if you're now sort of like being delayed. That is an hour. So sorry it's so long. If this was interesting, tell me what you want to know more about. Maybe if I see a lot of views on this, or if I see people sharing this, then I will make a more concise version of it. But it's just much easier to film something live and put it out and try it out. So I get excited about this sort of thing, but I get excited about all sorts of different things. And that's what Squares TV is all about. I get excited about all of this stuff. Streaming, cameras, audio, music, making my own tools, making my own software, making my own hardware, doing all this stuff. So it all excites me. So really, like, I just need to know what also excites you. Look at the camera. Also excites you. So come to squares.tv. You can get Shoot Clean Camera Feed. I built it. It's a really useful app for streaming, using your iPhone as a webcam with no mucking about. It's better than Filmic Pro for streaming. If you don't agree, tell me why, and I will tweet that fact of it, and then it will definitely be. But I'm certain that this is better than like Filmic Pro streaming mode over HDMI. This is proper. Like, this is just for streaming. It hasn't got a record button. It hasn't got a take picture button. It's just like streaming stuff. I've also got this delay calculator that lets you like just figure out what your frame delay is, to make sure everything's locked in sync. I've done a little Twitch stream profile manager. If you're doing like different kinds of streams, you can quickly switch between them, and I've got some Final Cut stuff in there as well. So come and find me, and there's also a Discord and all sorts. So throwing it over to questions. We have a question from Sean Whiteman. Let me just make myself full screen, and let me just really precisely set my mic delay. But what do we see? We've got add to broadcast. Sean Whiteman says, what is the hit on the processor using Vuo and multiple video inputs, I wonder? M1 is wicked, obviously, for this. And I've tried it on M1 and it's been great. You may not be able to hear this, but my MacBook 2018 MacBook Pro top possible spec is like, I mean, I'm also live streaming. I'm doing so much stuff at the same time. It is native, right? So the good thing about Vuo is it's native Mac software. It's not Unity. Like, it's proper native Mac software. It's just putting the native Mac frameworks in. So you do get generally better performance. You do generally get control over that performance. I've found using Unity, I don't know, whatever I do, it is maxing out my CPU the whole time, and it's a nightmare. But what I have ended up having to do to keep my MacBook happy, because these, I've heard them called shit books for good reason. If we look at my other side, this is my MacBook. It is literally on like a gamer cooling pad. And I'll be honest, like, if you're doing anything, oh shit. Did you see that? Did it disappear? So it's literally on. Sorry, we need to. I nudged the camera and it's lost the video signal. Come on, let's try coming in and out again. It's a very fragile connection, this, on the Blackmagic. Come on, waiting for it to reappear. Blackmagic design. Let's. Oh, by the way, this virtual webcam will also show up in Zoom. So annoying. Maybe we'll switch over to. Yeah. Oh look. Oh, you know, I touched it and everything went wrong. One of my cables is bad. I'm just gonna flip over to a USB connection to shoot instead of right. Okay, so we're going to use the USB connection for shoot, which does mean we've got to zoom in a little bit. Right. So look, this is the back of my computer. It's literally on a gamer pad thing to keep it cool, because I was finding things are locking up. But the good thing about that is I'm on a separate monitor, and because I'm on an external monitor, that means that I can have the laptop a bit further away from the camera, so you can't hear the fan going so much. That a bit further away from the microphone. So, like, because that can be annoying. But yeah, it is certainly a Intel Mac is gonna, just like with all streaming stuff, all video stuff, it does have a bit of trouble with it. But I'm kind of, I've got everything switched on and it seems fine, and I'm cooling it, and it's still pretty hot. But it's not like what I was finding in the summer when it was hot before I got the the gamer pad, was that it was fully like freezing the video and losing it. It just couldn't. It was just kind of turning off the CPU. It was just like killing the system sometimes because it got too hot. But yeah, with this thing I haven't had any problems since I got this thing. So obviously it's going to be a bit of computational overhead. So I would recommend either a M1 Mac. I have a Mac Mini, which is great. Every time I start using it, I'm like, this is what it's like. But you do need a laptop for a lot of things. But yeah, it works pretty well. And it's not as like GPU intensive or CPU intensive as some other tools could be. You have a bit of control over the optimization. You have a bit of control over what the frame rate's going to be. All those kinds of things that might be more difficult to do with other platforms. And you could do something like you can hold a frame. So if you want it, because the webcam might be coming in at 60 frames a second, but you can say hold frame, and then you can just make it not do anything to those frames until until it's 30 frames a second, which there's some ways to do that, and we can talk about that. But yeah, it works pretty well. So if you found that, shall we see if we can I mean, this is, we can use our feed. So I'm coming into Ecamm now. Because I just switched cameras, I'm going to have to change what's coming in. But I should be able to select my phone. Yeah. Here I am. It's the wrong dimensions now. Maybe if we like, oh, that's weird. This is auto. Look, we're a bit stretched, but maybe if we just go back to the virtual green screen. We can. So look, this is coming straight into Ecamm, and let's on. Are we camera affecting? I don't know. No, we're not. This can just come straight into Ecamm or OBS as a siphon feed as well. So if you're not using Zoom, you don't even need the virtual webcam. You can. Oh God, that's awful. Sorry, we're just gonna have to live with this weird distortion for now. But if I just come back to my real webcam and turn off the slightly nasty green screen, I will thank you for watching. Squares.tv, all the links down below. If anyone on Twitch wants to sub, I have been streaming for so long, and Amazon/Twitch does not give you a payout unless you hit $100. I've never hit $100, but I am, as of this week, I am so close to $100. So if you were kind enough to subscribe today or drop some bits in, I might actually get paid next month by Twitch for the first time in my life. Wouldn't that be good? I will, let me just, insights, channel analytics, I'll prove it to you, because basically all my numbers are in public anyway. Look, here's my thing. Where is it? View my payouts. I am $91.44. Oh, sorry, this is still showing. Oops, removed from broadcast. I'm still on. I just need just a couple more quid, and you'll make me so happy if you're the one that pushes me over the edge for that. So that's on Twitch, twitch.tv/Michael Forrest, and squares.tv is where everything is. Links down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you soon. And do you know what we should do? We should do a raid, just to be nice. See who I am following. We should raid in. I haven't checked how many people are watching. I suspect it's 3. But let's look. 1 it says, so whatever. FML. I'm not going to raid.
Got the chance to win it, so...
because it's embarrassing raiding with no viewers. Yeah, okay, so I had 1 viewer that whole time. Or 5, maybe 3. I don't know, there was more chatters than viewers. Michael, I am signing off. You have a good rest of the day. Take care now. Bye.